pretty excited about this because we're going to take this guy out for a spin. I used him briefly last night, and I was like, oh my God, this is good. I still don't have him at 60, still don't have the Masteries dud, still don't have the books dud. But yeah, I'm going to be doing all of them, but we'll get there at some point. So I thought this was going to be a good opportunity to refresh and relook at what I was doing on a daily basis on the Iron Twins. And Iron Twins is important because this is where we're going to get, the stones, whatever they're called, the turtle soul essence to get the split souls that correspond with the stole stones. And this is mostly about Geomancer and Aox. Now, if you've not done so already, click the link in the description and you will get a total of 2 legendaries and 3 epics. We got Ugo here at level 10, and then we've got Deacon at level 40. Pay special attention to those 2 champions, and then use promo code Monkey King to get Sun Wukong. Now, when we're talking about Iron Twins, I kind of feel like this comes into the category of Geomancer plus 4. And I was going through a lot of builds that work well. And Geomancer is used on like 90% of the teams. And I feel like Geomancer is kind of the best epic in the game by far. He's better than most legendaries. And there's a couple of reasons why Geomancer is amazing. And if we look at Geomancer, it's really all about his passive. And it has, with paired up with the HP burn that he puts out, he'll basically kick damage back to the boss. And then he also has like a damage mitigation. So it's mostly about getting this HP burn out. And what's interesting about the Iron Twins is that they have this threshold. They have this threshold where they drop below 80%, 60%, 40%, removes all debuffs from the Iron Twins and instantly attacks all enemies. And this can be a mess where you do damage, you give yourself a bunch of buffs, and they're taking 2 turns back to back and you're dying. Interestingly enough is that the HP burn mechanic that is on Geomancer is that if the Iron Twins drops below 80%, drops below 60%, drops 40%, it does not proc. Does not proc at all. And then paired up with Aox, increase the duration of 2 random debuffs on the attacker by 1 when attack occurs once per hit. So essentially, it just becomes about, you don't even need to go fast. You get all the negative effects out there, and then Aox and Geomancer take over. There's some other things that are problematic right here. Turn meter when positive effects, and unless there's a decreased speed. Here's the thing though, on this particular team comp here, I want to put as many positive effects out as possible because I want him to take turns. I actually want the enemy to take turns because that's how he's going to die, is by taking turns and then the Geomancer mechanic splashing back. Now, the old team that I used forever and a day was right here, and I really had to tweak it. Let's see if I still got it saved. I did use this team forever, and I never had any problems, and it always worked for me. Where did it go? I don't know if I must have given it a name or not. I know it had, it's right here at the top. Yeah, the Twins right there. So I was using a lead, and this was such a problem back then. I really didn't have good cleansing at all, and so I was dependent on Doom Priest, and then Mithrala made life a lot easier, and now I've got Pythion. And that's the thing, is that, yeah, this worked, but I had to go and program it. And if you haven't played with this, but mostly what I was trying to do is to manage the positive effects, because the positive effects was having him take too many turns, and that was throwing me off. That wasn't really doing anything. And so I was just basically shutting down the special. Doom Priest doesn't do a lot. She just doesn't. And, I was dependent on characters like Doom Priest. Now, this team here, and this is what I was saying about Raid Shadow Legends before I show the footage and get into it. In general, everybody has different rosters, but most people will have a high chance of having the same epics. Like, it's reasonable that one would get these epics over time. Mithrala you get for free through Hydra. This guy's an exception. That's like going to be unique to my account. But if you come across a cleanser, debuffer, healer, this is a game changer character. Not only does he have damage mitigation, which is bonkers, right? But then I was having the ability to remove all debuffs. So I was using a character called Kaja, which only got rid of 2 unless she was paired up with Timid. And then I was always wishing she could heal. Oh, this heals right here. And then it applies this block debuff. So block debuff, cleansing, healing, and then a team revive that's pretty good with the strengthening. And then we've got damage mitigation right here. And then we've got healing. This is a character that I can use in almost any battle. And I wasn't going to make a video about this, but my record for this node prior to putting this team together with that old team was like a minute 40. And my very first attack on it, I did it in a minute 16. I was like, not that a minute and 40 to minute 16 is that impactful, but I'm also, right now, I'm going to go at, this is green, right? And I'm running 1, 2, 3 of the champions that do not have good affinity against this guy, right? So this is like the worst matchup of the week that I'm going to have. And it worked the first time. And the first time that I did it, it was my fastest time. It was in at a minute 16 seconds. Now, this HP burn is what really matters, is not going away, because every time he attacks, Aox is extending it. And then if he's dropping below the thresholds, it's not cleansing and going away. Then we're also getting, what, Brimstone? I think I got, what, Brimstone on Mithrala, I'm guessing. Yeah, every time I get positive effects, he's getting turn meter, and I just want him to go. I absolutely want him to take turns because that's how he's going to die. All right, minute 12. Yeah, that was my fastest time. That was my fastest time I've ever had. Pythion absolutely helps, but it's really about AOX, Godseeker, Geomancer, and you can use 2 other supports. Geomancer +4, and what that means is support champions that cleanse, revive, heal. I mean, at some point you're going to build up a bunch, but you're going to be surprised how many champions, like in Doom Tower, you're going to go up in Doom Tower, and if you ever get stuck, I'm serious, just try Geomancer +4. And the way that I see early game in Raid Shadow Legends, it's all about epic support champions. So Godseeker is a healer, single target healer, passive healer, and then also she has a buff extension, right? That's a great champion. Then we've got characters like Rector Drath, which is a single target healer, heals all, a single target reviver healer, and then she also has Perfect Veil, which is damage mitigation. So it's like you're starting to pick it through all of the supports and figuring out what they do. Do they have a team revive? Do they give buffs? Do they place any negative effects? Are they healing? So on and so on. And that's why Pythion is such a big deal, because he's doing several very, 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 very important things that I need to have happen. So it crossed the threshold there with damage outside of Geomancer, but we'll reset here. We've got a lot of backup here to get this going again. There it is. It's back up. All right. So as long as, all right, I don't know. I think we're going to go through that 20% threshold. Hopefully he takes a turn here and does it himself without it being, there we go. Yeah, this is too good. And so going through your support champions and looking over what's going to help you the most. I'm going to go over some of the support champions that are epics, that if you're getting started in Raid Shadow Legends, that to pay special attention to. 2 of them are inside the promo code, like if you use the link or scan the QR code here on the screen. I'm going to go over those 2 first, because and that's why I say every time I do the promo code call us, it's like pay special attention to these champions, because I feel like when I first started Raid Shadow Legends, understanding epic supports is what moved me along. And the first one is going to be Ugo. Now, Ugo has a conditional revive that looks good on paper, but if I'm being honest, I've only had it pop off like once ever. So I know that this is going to be like, oh my God, she can do this crazy revive. Let's say, but it places a 30% increased speed and a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn whenever this champion's last living ally is killed. Yeah, that just doesn't happen very often. And then that's paired up with this. Removes all heal reduction and debuffs from all allies. Very useful. And removes 1 damage and debuff from all allies. Very useful. But it's only 1. So this is like a soft cleanse. Then heals all allies. The heal's amazing. And then this just never happens. If all allies are dead, revive the 50% HP fills their turn meters by 50% instead. So ignore this revive and the passive. Really good healing and a soft cleanse, right? So this character is already feeling like it's kind of like a weak cleanse to get rid of negative effects, and it's good healing, right? Now this is where it is bonkers. Decreased defense. So this is going to increase the damage output a lot. Whenever there's decreased defense, and also let's say you have attack up or whatever it is, that's going to make the damage. I mean, this is an important negative effect. Block buffs. This is going to be vital for in Hydra to prevent the enemy from getting positive effects. This makes, like at some point in time when you're going through Hydra, you have to have 18 characters and 3 different teams. Ugo's going to make one of those 3 teams just because of this block buffs. Decreased defense, increase the damage, soft cleanse, and massive amounts of healing. And then this is a leech where when you hit a target, then you also get some drain, some HP back. This is a really important champion. The other one that's going to be super important that you're going to start off if you use the code is going to be Deacon Armstrong. Deacon Armstrong is probably second best epic in the game next to Geomancer, mostly for turn meter. Increase ally speed in all battles. This is grants an extra turn, so he gives the team turn meter, drops turn meter on the enemies, and then he immediately takes another turn, making him cycle through his abilities really fast. Decreased defense, then he does right here, puts out leech. Now Ugo and Deacon have very similar kits actually in some ways, but this right here paired up with his aura speed battles, this is basically like a turn 2. Like 2 turns cooldown. Like every 2 turns you're doing this, every 2 turns you're doing this, and then 1 turn you're doing this. So like these 2 happen back to back, then this happens, then these go back to back, then this happens. I mean, it's cycling between these 2 abilities and this ability over and over again. It's kind of bonkers. Kind of bonkers. Rector Wrath is another character that's important to make use of. Has a single target revive, and then massive amounts of healing. Well, the way around. There's the single target revive, then healing, and then perfect veil will make the resistance go up, right? So that's kind of like defensive. And so I get familiar with these key epic support champions. Super helpful. Vogoth, super helpful. Tagore, super helpful. Ursula, super helpful. Mausoleum Mage, super helpful. I mean, these are characters that used correctly will carry you through all parts of the game. Like, you don't need fancy legendaries. Now, when you do pull a fancy legendary, you rejoice because suddenly you realize that one character can do the job that I was using 2 characters. So, like, when I go into Hydra, I'm not kidding. I go into Hydra and I'm like, okay, I need a character that could do this, and I need a character who could do that. And then I get 2 characters to do those tasks where this guy can replace 2 characters, effectively bringing in another slot. Oh, anyways, I'm going to jump over to Kat's account because I'm super pumped about how this is working with the Fortress. And I'm going to try to get AOX and Aox and Geomancer to work on her account. Gotta play with it a little bit. All right, I'll put that video up tomorrow. Use the link in the description. Ugo, pay special attention to Ugo, and then also pay special attention to Deacon Armstrong, and then use the promo code. Pretty important to use promo code in the first 24 hours. Monkey King to get some Wukong. Bye for now.